Hi to all attending the conference. I am Kevin Callahan of Quantfi. We are a quantum computing startup specializing in software applications for the financial services industry. Today, I would like to talk about how banks, insurance companies, and security firms can get started in quantum computing research, what some are calling the quantum journey or the quantum way. As background, my professional experience is primarily in banking, with experience at commercial and investment banks, mostly in the US and Japan. Although I am not a scientist, I have learned over my years that computational science is increasingly a critical tool for financial service firms. The promise of quantum computing for finance is understood to consist of new and improved algorithms for financial application that can make financial investments not only more profitable, but also less risky. This can theoretically be achieved by the exponentially faster speed of quantum computers, combined with the hope of improved accuracy. Quantum computing has the potential to revolutionize many industries in the coming years and decades, and financial services is no exception. Perhaps the trillions of dollars in losses as a result of the financial crisis 13 years ago could have been prevented if better tools were available to provide an early warning system that many scholars say the financial markets were missing. What needs to be understood are a few critical things. There has been no clear proof of a quantum advantage in the field of quantum finance yet. There may not be any proof of quantum advantage for another 5 or 10 years. Currently, classical software solutions in quantitative finance are still the best sources of cutting-edge research for financial institutions in the near term. Current research in quantum finance, however, is compelling and quite promising. And the benefits of quantum finance are so promising that the financial industry cannot simply ignore them. Now, I will not try to convince any financial institution of the efficacy of quantum finance. Simply by looking at the initiatives made in the past few years, however, could lead you to believe that it's true. For example, major financial players have started quantum programs at considerable expense, combined with research in the field by universities and the private sector, combined with the billions of dollars in government funding available worldwide for such research, and the additional funds provided in the private sector by large corporations and venture capitalists. In my opinion, speak for themselves. In any case, the decision is yours to decide. But what I can try to communicate is what I believe are the options for financial service firms to get started in their quantum journey. And that is what I will try to offer in the balance of my time today. So without further ado, here are some options. If your firm has just begun or is about to begin its quantum journey, there are a number of options to get you started. Option 1, create an internal team of quantum scientists dedicated to a combination of fundamental and applied research, in which the goal is to develop applications that are proprietary to the firm. The positives of this option, if successful, it provides a strong competitive position for your firm, gives your firm a strong ownership position in intellectual property, and allows your research to be performed in a more confidential manner. The negatives, however, are that this option requires significant investment in human resources as well as training, and will take a number of years to fully develop, which may put you behind the curve compared to some of your competitors who have already started their journey or will take more of a fast-track approach to getting up to speed. This option is the one chosen by very few large financial institutions who are global market leaders, who have the available resources and seek to maintain or enhance existing competitive advantages. The second option is to create an external team network by hiring a senior quantum scientist to lead collaborative research with universities and private research firms that are specialized in quantum finance. The positives of this option is that it is a faster approach in the quantum journey because you are benefiting from the research already done by your collaborative partners. It is potentially more cost-effective than the first option, especially from a headcount perspective. It offers more flexibility, and more ability to share in intellectual property and in published research. The negatives will take a number of years to fully develop. You need to share IP ownership. You lose some control due to outsourcing to third parties. This option could be preferred by financial institutions looking to catch up to competitors further along in their quantum journeys, or simply want to limit internal headcount. Option 3, create a consortium of financial firms to share in research. Possible collaborations could include sponsoring a quantum finance lab affiliated with a university, sponsoring PhD programs in quantum finance, sharing in research IP, and co-authoring papers. Positives of this approach is that it is a faster approach than option 2 due to sharing of research with financial service companies operating in different markets. For example, a North American bank could partner with a European bank or a Japanese bank. It's also less costly than our options due to the cost sharing. Negatives, you need to align research topics, otherwise known as use cases, to satisfy each firm separately. You do lose some control. You need to share IP ownership. This option, however, could be preferred by medium-sized regional banks who do not compete globally and therefore are willing to collaborate with other financial institutions in other market areas in which they do not compete. To be clear, these options are just a few ideas among a universe of many ideas and are not related to the types of research or the methodologies to be used. The decisions of what to focus one's research on is a separate issue. In terms of those steps, then, I offer the following suggestions, as in general, the quantum journey could be similar for many firms. So the steps in the quantum journey, once you've established the foundation and the network, is to hire a quantum scientist. I strongly recommend this as someone as senior as possible. Survey the scientific talent in your firm to determine where the expertise lies, and then create an internal team. Find an academic advisor who can lead research at the university level in topics specific to financial services. Invest in professional training for existing and new employees. Assist employees in seeking academic training, such as master's degrees and PhD programs. Determine which research topics to prioritize in order to be most efficient. Develop and test available algorithms on an evaluative basis. And then look to both classical and quantum applications that could improve performance over both the short term and long term. Collaborate with universities or research firms to experiment with those algorithms that show some promise of success. And lastly, develop collaborations with a variety of hardware providers. At this stage, in the development of quantum applications in the field of finance, I would not say that any firm is running out of time. In fact, the science in quantum finance still has a long way to go, in part because the machines that can prove quantum advantage do not really exist today. So quantum advantage in the field of finance remains rather elusive for now. That condition will change, however, especially when we enter what's known as the post-NISQ era of reliable, scalable quantum computers. Given the competitive nature of financial services, then I strongly recommend starting your quantum journey now, recognizing that with the proper strategy, catching up to competitors who are no more than a little ahead of the curve should not be a major obstacle. By starting with cost-effective expenditures in training and collaborative research, the future will hopefully become clearer for each of you with each passing month and each passing year. If I could end this presentation with a quote from the late American President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself." Good luck to each of you in your respective quantum journeys, and I hope that I will see you somewhere along the way. Thank you.